Hello to everyone interested in customizing GameCube controllers. In this video, I hope to change your views on the utility of third-party GameCube controllers. For those of you who know what you were looking for, refer to timestamps on screen. In my eyes, the most underdeveloped part of the GameCube community is customizing controllers. It seems to be a new idea which is now just catching on. The prices of custom shells can be insane. Something which is incredibly underappreciated is the availability of third-party GameCube controller manufacturers. I believe we have been looking at third-party controllers with the sole idea of using them to play with, which is misguided. I believe third-party controllers should be viewed as utilities to better first-party controllers. These shells can be modified to accommodate for OEM parts. Today I will show what I did to the third-party shell to make it fit. The controller I bought was a TTX controller. I cannot speak on behalf of any other third party since I have not tried any others. Before going into the process, I want to let you all know that this video is a part 1. In part 2, I will go over the entire process step by step rather than showing what I did. The first thing I noticed was that the OEM board was a little low. To fix this, I needed to cut off a small piece of plastic on the top. To do this, I used this tool. It's like pliers except sharp. Pliers would work as well. The board fits in place now. For buttons, I noticed something else. The X, Y, Z, and start button did not feel right. X, Y, and start were getting stuck. To fix this, I used 500 grit sandpaper wrapped around a circular file. I ran this along the inside of the cutouts for the buttons. After around 30 seconds, all the buttons fit well. Note, this was done to accommodate for the eBay buttons, and I did not need to do this when testing out OEM buttons. The Z button has no place to rest. I pulled the metal bar out a bit to make it fit better. One final note about the front plate. The buttons sit low. Because of this, it feels slightly different. The B button feels a little mushy since it does not move down far. When the controller is flipped, the buttons fall a bit. The backplate was more work. To make the board fit, I had to cut off this circular extrusion. I also cut off the two wings next to it. To clean up this area, I used 60 grit sandpaper. I did this to remove as much plastic as I could. I do not care how it looks here. There was a small tab on the rim of the base plate. I cut this off too. One unfortunate thing about the back plate is the fact that it has no way to insert trigger guards. Another thing is the holes for the triggers are oversized slightly. Because of this, the triggers can move slightly. I do not have experience with using the backplate while playing, so I do not know if this will affect the way it performs. The triggers feel alright. Something I've been doing to help fix the way the triggers feel is adding rubber bands around the shaft of the trigger bases, as seen here. These help reduce spring vibration, and in my eyes improve the feel of the triggers. Before purchasing a third-party controller, realize that the controller you get is what you pay for. I mean this in the sense that it will not feel as good as an OEM shell. The shell is made of ABS plastic. For a comparison in feeling, it is similar to the feeling of eBay triggers. Personally, this does not bother me, and I am quite picky about my controller. I find the feeling of my sticks to be far more important than my shell. Another thing to note, the shells do not line up perfectly. You will need to push it a tiny bit and use the screws to help line it up. I put the screws back in with a star pattern to help make sure the shell lines up. If done correctly, the shell should line up. Hopefully this video showed you why I think third-party controllers can be great. If you were not able to follow the guide in this video, I am really sorry. Please leave a comment on the Reddit post in the description and let me know what I can do to further explain so I can better my explanation in the second part. If you would like to learn more about GameCube controllers and the community behind customizing controllers, I would highly recommend to check out the custom GameCube controller Discord server. There are endless tutorials about modding if you are interested. I'll leave a link in the description to join this Discord server. With all that out of the way, I hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching.